Hi, I'm Sharon Spurgeon, and I'm really excited to be part of this video series focused on supporting English learners. Today, I'll be sharing some thoughts and strategies on how we can recognize and build on the strengths our EL students already bring to the classroom, and how we can strengthen the connections between home and school. Culture plays a huge role in how students learn, how they communicate, how they engage in the classroom, and how they respond to different types of instructions. For example, in some cultures, students are taught to observe quietly and not speak out in class. If we don't understand that, we might assume a student is disengaged, when really they're just showing respect. That's why cultural competence is so important. It's about knowing our students' backgrounds and using that knowledge to connect with them in ways that are meaningful. For English learners, that might mean including their cultures in lessons, using texts that reflect their experiences, or encouraging them to share stories from home. The classroom environment also plays a big role in how ELs learn language. If students feel safe and seen, they're more likely to take academic risks and speak up in English. Simple things like posting labels in different languages, sharing diverse books, and making space for all voices can go a long way. To really celebrate and support cultural diversity, we can use strategies like culturally relevant lessons, collaborative projects that tie in family or community experience, like maybe a multicultural night. Set up different booths with different cultures so people can come up and experience and learn about them. Welcoming students' home languages in the classroom. This sends the message that their culture matters and they don't have to leave it at the door to succeed in the school. Like Dr. Gloria Gladson Billings said, and Dr. Geneva Gay, they said culturally responsive teaching isn't a strategy, it's a mindset. It's about teaching in a way that makes sense for your actual students, not just the curriculum. Every English learner is different. Some have just arrived in the U.S., some were born here, but speak another language at home, and some may also receive special education services. That means we need to be flexible and responsive in supporting the needs of the ELs in our classrooms. Differentiation is a key. That could mean using visuals, modeling language, grouping students strategically, or giving sentence starters to help them express their thinking. Scaffolding helps a lot too. It helps level the playing field while still keeping expectations high for these students. And let's not forget the social and emotional piece. Learning a new language while adjusting to a new environment can be stressful and even isolating. Building strong relationships, having consistent routines, and giving ELs opportunity to feel successful, no matter how small, can make a big difference. When we set up our classroom routines, it is also important to think about how students' cultural backgrounds shape their behavior. For instance, things like making eye contact or speaking in front of others might mean something very different in another culture. Being aware of that helps us avoid misunderstanding and create a more welcoming environment for everyone. Herrera and Escamilla remind us that teaching ELs is really about building bridges between language, content, culture, and identity. Families of English learners bring a ton of knowledge and experience that we can tap into. This is often called the funds of knowledge. things like work skills, storytelling traditions, or family customs that aren't always visible in school. These are things that can also show at like a multicultural night. One of the best things we can do to build trusting relationships with families, that means reaching out in ways that feel respectful and inclusive. Using translation tools. Send messages home in both their language and in English, or inviting families to share about their culture in the classroom. It's also important to think about how we define parent involvement. Not every family is going to be able to come to meetings or events, but that doesn't mean they're not involved. They might help with homework, talk about school at dinner, or support their child in other ways. You can also reach out to them, try just a phone call, even an email, a text, something to let them know you are caring. To support, it is also important to think about how we define parent involvement. Not every family is going to be able to come to those meetings, like I said. To support EF families, we can host bilingual workshops, use tools like Talking Points or Class Dojo with translation features, and partner with community organizations that we already trusted by the families. These efforts help make families feel like part of the school community, not outsiders. When we value and include students' home cultures and language, we send a powerful message. You belong here. At the end of the day, supporting English learners is about recognizing all the amazing assets they bring into our classroom. When we lead with respect, curiosity, and a willingness to learn from our students and their families, we create a space where everyone can thrive. Thanks for tuning in. I hope these ideas help you in your classroom as you continue this important work.